We got Black C in the
Yeah.
building.
I gotta get out y'all feelings, man. I'm telling you,
Hey,
this
for
is
real.
serious right now. You gotta get out your feelings. Get in your bag, baby. Get in your bag.
Yeah.
I'm looking over these numbers, yeah, I'm making a kill. You got a problem with it, then I'm ready and willing. I'm quick with much strip, you can see that it's spilled. I'm in my bag, bitch, and
You and your feelings.
I'm in my bag, bitch, and
You and your feelings.
I'm in my bag, bitch, and
You and your feelings.
That's a bad place.
you see that it's spilled. I'm in my bag, bitch, and you and your feelings. I'm in my bag.
So y'all already know what's going on, man. Hey, it's Tap In with T Vix and Miss Dean, man. We live with Black C from RBL Posse, the legendary group. Oh, man,
Yes,
from
sir.
the Bay, what's going on with you, big dog?
Oh man, living, man. You know, happy I got this second win, man. You know, on this microphone, man. I'm juiced up now. You feel me?
Yeah.
Hey, it's pretty amazing, honestly, how you have kind of converted over with the times. Not too many artists can do that. Like you relevant and your lyrics as you switched it up so much from then and now.
Right.
It's crazy. So
Right.
applause to that.
That's just paying attention to what's going on, you know, because I eat, sleep, and drink this music. And once you lay off from it, that's why some dudes they come in rapping like, you know, old school Grandmaster Flash or something like that. It's you're right. Exactly. So you gotta
I'm gonna say this though.
Stay, you know, in tune with what's going on.
I'm gonna say this, you definitely in tune with what's going on, but I gotta applaud you keeping the sound. I feel like the sound still there. Like when I'm listening to it, it's like it's still that. That we love, and man, we gonna celebrate. Man, I'm telling you, man, when y'all came on the scene, man, y'all came in like a thief in the night. I mean, y'all came out of nowhere, because you know they come out of where they come out there, LA. They come out LA. They come out Oakland. Right. Man, y'all came out of where they don't come out of from.
Right. People didn't expect Frisco to come like that, you know? They was like, hold on, wait a minute, they from Frisco? It was like, yeah, hold on, man. You know,
how did y'all feel? Was it a little bit of extra pressure coming from Frisco, coming from that spot like that?
A whole lot of pressure, because, you know, Frisco was associated with, you know, the LGBTQ community or whatever. You know, we had the Castro district, and, you know, Frisco was like the Mecca, you know what I mean, gays or whatnot. So, you know what I mean? So that's why we was like, man, hold on, we got to make a statement. They don't realize it's a dark side out here. We got a bunch of projects and shit out here too. A lot of them, you know what I mean?
And I was asking that because what? You from what part of San Francisco?
I'm from Hunters Point.
Hunters Point. And I was asking my husband, I'm like, man, because that's what I known it for. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, I thought they was rich out there, you know, but then I heard your story and how y'all have went through so many trials and tribulations as a group, and I was amazed and inspired that y'all even overcame, which we'll talk about some of them obstacles, but like how y'all even overcame that stuff and became as big as y'all did.
Man, you know me, when I got out that juvenile facility, man, you know, it was a blessing that I had my OG partner. Well, he hung with us, but he was hella older than us. He was about 5-6 years older than us, a dude named Budweiser. And he was into the music. You know, I was having my money. I was a young dude, you know, having my paper, and he just told me to invest in him and buy some equipment. And I ended up buying equipment, and that was like a distraction that kept me off the block, because I got right back out, been probably still gang banging, you know, slanging dope, and I didn't really have no time on the block. I got addicted as soon as I turned that music on and started playing with it and tinkering with the sounds and all that. And I never.
So music was somewhat a savior for you.
Oh, most definitely.
That's dope. That's dope.
We talking to one of the most legendary groups of all time, man. This is RBL Posse. I seen one. I think it's one of the richest men in the world. Somebody had asked him to name a top 5 rappers. They like, he named RBL Posse. You know what I mean? For real. It was like one of the richest men in the world. It was like, it's a video out there, man.
Right,
it's
right.
Like, man, it's crazy, man. Y'all start off, you, Mr. C, you know what I mean? Y'all doing your thing. And like I said, no smoke, no bammer, weed that came out. How'd that feel when the block really took to it?
Man, that was I kind of knew it was gonna kind of blow up, because what I did, I put it out locally. It was called "Don't Give Me No Bammer Joint." We don't smoke that shit in Hunters Point. So I threw it out there, and it caught like wildfire just in the neighborhood. So I knew I had something with that song. Mr. C wasn't on that version. It was me, my boy named Tita Lee, and this dude named Rob. So when I decided to go to the studio, I told Mr. C, like, bro, I'm ready to switch that Bammer Weed song up, the Bammer Joint song up. And he was like, is that right? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to get Filmo, Sunnydale, all them involved to where, you know, they don't want to play the shit. You know what I mean? Because if you saying their neighborhood or you mention names, that was the thing back in the days that I learned from Too Short. When you name a couple of the top dog dope dealers, ballers, or whatever, whatnot, they gonna play it. You know what I mean? So that's what we want to do. Is like, let's bring Frisco in. Yeah, that influence. So we said, let's bring Frisco in.
The crazy part about this is, in real time, we in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, we in Akron, Ohio. Like, we listening to that music. Like, we getting it. I'm not, you making it for the block, but we like, yo, give me no Bammer Weed. Like, we need some, like, we on the same shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a young boy.
Different time zones, but we on the same
I ain't gonna lie, I'm younger than you. I'm younger than you, but I got an older brother.
Yeah.
And you was his favorite rapper. You know what I mean? So he RBL going through the house all day. We listening to, you know, you his favorite rapper. So I'm like, man, he playing that. And I'm like, we got the first record. I mean, how I come from California all the way to Ohio, and it was independent.
Yeah, what happened was too, we had a lot of people that was in schools. We had this program out here called the Mega Boys Club, who was taking like dudes getting out the juvenile system, and they was helping them get involved in like setting them up for like college and stuff like that. So it was a lot of our folks out here that took that first album it dropped. It was like perfect timing to where they were sending them. The program had just started. They started sending them out like to Morehouse, different colleges in Atlanta, down there, down in the South, and in some of them in the Midwest. And it just, they took it with them. You know what I mean? And they kind of put people on. And also, I got to give props to In a Minute, even though they kind of fucked us and didn't pay us and whatnot. They gave us distribution. You know, even though we was out the trunk, we still had that distro through them. And they got it out there. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
So I got a question. I got a dope question. Now, you did music in the 90s. You did music in the 2000, 2010, 2020. What's the difference? So you said independent. So y'all independent, but y'all got a distribution deal through independent. How did that work out? How did y'all get that?
Well, I had, so like, well, you know, they when people started, what happened was I pressed up my first 1,000. It was cassettes at the time. I pressed up the first 1,000 cassettes, and I went to each stores in Frisco and left a couple on consignment. And after I did that, they sold out hella fast. You know, after we probably gave out about 200 of those, and just to get people to play it and get other people put on it, where they go start looking for it in the record stores. So when they came in the record stores, they sold out. They start calling me back like, I need more. So the 1,000 went fast. So I went and pressed up 5 more thousand, and that's when I ended up getting I went over to Intermittent Records, and TC, my boy TC, was with Totally Insane. He had already had them set up over there. So we took the albums over there to 5,000, left them with him, and he was just like, bro, these they already selling out. He was like, man, I'm trying to just do a deal with y'all. He said, I'm ready to do is pay y'all the $5 for those, get y'all the 25,000 for that, and I'm ready to get you another 10,000 for me to do the distribution. You know what I mean? It'd be exclusive distro. So I was like, man, hell yeah, I'm trying to hit the block with that paper. I was just like, man, you know.
Right.
And y'all literally, you're speaking as going through the experience, but really y'all done hit some top charts and some huge platforms. Like,
especially
that's amazing.
Especially when we got that distro deal. Once we got that distro deal, it was over with. That's when we started hitting them charts and stuff, and it just took off like crazy.
That's amazing.
We toured on that album for about 2 years though, too. You know,
Billboard magazine, top R&B hip hop, hot chart, peak number 16. I mean, y'all was doing y'all thing, man. That's just to throw it. I can't throw the whole resume out. Y'all was running things, man. I think it's safe to say y'all was doing some stuff.
92 to 95.
I gotta ask you this. I mean, like, you was the last member of RBL to drop a solo album. What made you stay away from the solo thing? Everybody else was doing the solo. What made you stay away from the solo thing?
Well, you know, at the time I had Mr. C and Hitman. You know, we brought Hitman in later on to play a little part. We was getting him ready for his solo stuff. And it was just, I wasn't never really a solo artist. I was just really, we was talking about it. We was talking about getting Mr. C out. We was going to do a little Villain on the Under album, but we never really worked on it because we were so comfortable with each other. So once he had kind of passed away and I went through, you know, my little slump with him, you know, losing him, and I brought Hitman in, it just really wasn't the same. You know what I mean? The chemistry, like, you know, because he's a lot younger than me. You know, that was like little bro. And me and Mr. C, you know, he a year younger than me. You know, but he wasn't from the block, but he was more like a rapper, and he led. I looked for him to like lead the way in the studio. So I never really thought about doing a solo album. So after losing him, I just was like, you know, man, it's time for me to step it up and just try to carve my own lane out, because I didn't want to ruin RBL legacy trying to still do RBL albums without Mr. C, and the sound ain't the same. You know what I mean? So once I did that Eye for an Eye album on Atlantic Records, I was just like, it just what didn't feel right. And we dropped one more album called Hostile Takeover. That did pretty good on Bayside. You know, we probably sold about 50, almost 70,000 copies, but it just wasn't the same, you know. So I just end up, you know, just putting the cap on that. Just was like, you know, it's time for me to start my solo career, you know. And you know, I just got rid of that nervousness, man, of being out on my own, and dropped that Last Man Standing album, and it did pretty well.
Yeah, because you got a voice. You definitely got a voice. Now I'm not gonna lie to you. Hitman, that album, The Solo Creep, I bought it 5 times myself.
Yeah,
so you got 5 sales from me.
That's the one.
You lose it. I mean, my favorite, oh man, all the G's in the house say hey. And all the G's in the house say ho. Man, that is my song. 45 Cavalier on my side when I'm watching Guts.
Yeah.
Like, I know the whole, like, I'm really a fan. Like, that's my song. Like,
I mean, that Solo Creep, man, is that one.
It was crazy. You know, I hear the rumors and talks. I don't have the charts. I hear it sold at least 150 or something like that.
It's sold like about 170. I pressed them all up myself, and I counted all.
That's amazing.
About 170 something. We lost track after that, but I pressed them up, did COD, cash on delivery with Walter.
Let's get a clap for that, bro.
Let's get a clap for that. Come on, man. What's that? I bought it 5 times. I'm not gonna lie, I bought it 5 times because you in the car and the nigga steal the CD from me. So you gotta go buy it again.
You gotta go buy it again.
I mean, that's a classic CD, man. I mean, that's a classic.
Yes, sir.
I mean, like, man, this dude he brought a style to the game that I haven't never heard again.
Yeah,
it's like
his
story, like pimp storytelling.
Yeah.
Like it's like he like telling the story like a pimp would. Like, and it's like it's dope. You got to check it out. It's dope. Ain't nobody really ever did it again.
And he was young as hell.
He a 1-on-1.
Yeah, and he was young as hell at the time too, man. Hitman was young as fuck when we put out that first album. I think he was probably about 15, 16. Like he was real young, man, doing his thing, you know.
Yeah, he was dope. Now it's confusing. I need you to clear up the confusion, because the first RBL Posse, y'all had so many people on the cover. People is confused about, when you look it up, y'all got 3 members. You go on there as 5, 6 people on the cover, so people confused on who was actually
it was only me and Mr. C. No, it was only me and Mr. C and RBL. Even they was confused thinking Hitman was in it, but we just was using our platform to launch Hitman as a solo. But it was always just me and Mr. C. As far as the first cover, as you can see behind me, that I did that just with all my homies who I grew up with on the block. I just wanted them in it because I was a fan of NWA. So I was just like, I was into marketing. I was just like, man, you know, when people see 5, 6 dudes on the cover, like how Ghetto Boys and them did their first cover,
it's a movement.
Like, see a crew, you want to, you know, you like, hold on, you know, let me see what this about. Let me see what's going on. So I didn't want to just do it with me and Mr. C on the cover. So I just said, man, let's go and get we in our projects. Let's go and take some pictures. I brought Boob and Kurt and Mo and them in. And I just had them just stand in just for the cover, just for the artwork. So that was really it.
Dope.
They didn't play no part, they didn't rap, they wasn't no DJs, they wasn't on the album. They just stood in for the picture. That was really it.
I'm glad you cleared that up, because that's a big thing with RBL Posse. It's like, man, how many was it? You know, it's a big thing. You know, people is a little confused.
Well, that's right. The second cover that you see behind me too is just me and Mr. C. I said the second cover because they didn't know what RBL stood for, so we said we're gonna just kill all the
Ruthless by Law.
And it stands, we're gonna just self-title the album Ruthless by Law so people know what it stands for. You know what I mean?
So knowing that you and Mr. C was the heart and soul of RBL, it's like, how did that affect you taking that loss and like losing that chemistry, losing that bond and still pushing through and creating music?
Man, that was the hardest thing ever, man. I mean, I still ain't really got over it, just because of how it happened, and it was really, like I said, that cover, even the cover, it was a split between us on the cover. The dude, the two dudes in the back of us on the cover kind of got you a little bit jealous because, like you say, people thought they was in the group, and when people used to ask them, "Man, what did y'all do? Which version, which song is you on?" and they kind of felt like they needed to be a part of it now. So then they started trying to create their own label, do their own thing, and then all of a sudden it was a split. It was like you got Big Block Records, you got HRD Records, which was us, and it just will start bumping heads, and that's how Mr. C ended up losing his life, with the jealousy in our neighborhood just splitting, splitting into two.
And Mr. C, he died from gun violence, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I mean, if you care to discuss it in detail.
Yeah, it was really just like I said, like it was just jealousy from some of the dudes from the group. Mr. C was the dude who wasn't born and raised in our projects. He was a good dude. He was raised by his grandmom and them going to church. He was a rapper. And he went up there with us like gang banging and slanging, like he didn't do none of that. I brought him in straight from rapping through my boy T-Lo, who Herm Lewis had put out. He had was dating his sister. And I was trying to actually go to the studio with T-Lo, and T-Lo was like our Ice Cube in the neighborhood. And like I said, I was working on a couple songs. I had the Don't Give Me No Bammer joint. I had a song called What About My Niggas, where I'm naming a bunch of people and shit. I had Rolling Through the Turfs of HP, and A Lesson to Be Learned. That was all I had that before I had met Mr. C. So when I was ready to go do my stuff, I tried to go with T-Lo. T-Lo didn't want to go. He hooked me up with Mr. C. Mr. C came up there, and he had only been up there he came up there in like 91. So he was new up there, and all these dudes, we all grew up together. Everybody on the cover with me, we all knew each other since knee high, 2 years old, since we was coming out in the project. So, and that just caused, jealousy. Mr. C was a good looking dude. A lot of the females was on him. And, one thing led to another. There was a lot of little stuff taking place. Dudes getting beat up. Mr. C beat up a dude up there. Dudes got jealous. We got framed for rape before we dropped our second album. We had to sit down for like 8-9 months behind some of them younger dudes who hung with them, bringing them to our studio we had in the neighborhood and using our name. And when they raped this little 14-year-old girl, the little girl, when we talked to the police, said it was Black C and his brothers and them. So it was a lot of stuff like that going on that was compiling. So it was a big old fight, altercation. And we didn't think them dudes was gonna come out. We kind of underestimated them because we ran the block for years. And they ended up snaking Mr. C when we drove off, on New Year's Day to go to a barbecue. Mr. C was out there hustling, hanging out with my sister, and they ended up snaking him, shooting him like 9 times.
That's unfortunate. It sounds like you had some rivalry going on in a sense.
Oh yeah.
Like you just had a lot of beef and drama going on as you was reaching your success.
Right. Now I ain't in it. It sounds like you like I'm showing love to the block and it turned on you.
That's exactly what it was.
You know what I mean? It's like, like
entitlement.
I put you on the album cover, I kind of put like, and then it just,
exactly. That's exactly what it was.
And what's sad about that? In a lot of situations, I can speak from that perspective, not on your level, I'm sure. I'm sure you taking care of Fed and looked out for a lot of people, but it happens on smaller levels too. It's like a lot of times people don't know what to do with that, that generosity that you give. They don't know. They take it like I saw in one of your interviews, like a sign of weakness. Yeah. Well, really, we can all go left. But I'm trying to do right by you. You know what I'm saying? So that's unfortunate.
I hate to bring this up, but we got to talk about tragic situation happened to you. I heard you as a gunshot victim. Lost your eye.
Yeah. Got shot in the eye. That was before Mr. C and all. That was before.
That was early.
Yeah, that was like around 87 when I got shot in the eye. 87, 88. Up there gang banging. We was funking against Fillmore, Sunnydale. Fillmore was like where JT, the bigger figure, rapping Forte, all in. We wasn't cool that one time. You know what I mean? We end up, them like my brothers now. But we wasn't cool. And it was real funk. The Frisco gang wars was real funk back then.
So break it down to us, because some people up here, we from Ohio, so we rep side. So you from the north side, west side, east side. I know in LA, Crips and Bloods, stuff like that. So in y'all town, what
neighborhoods? It's neighborhoods like streets. Really, it's like projects. Like you got it's more like a district. Like Fillmore is a district, but in Fillmore you might have Hayes Valley, Page Street, OC projects. There's different projects in that district. Hunters Point is a big old district. You got Harbor Road, where I'm from. Then you got Oakdale, where 11-5 and then was from. You got Double Rock. You got Kirkwood. It's a bunch of different projects up in there. So we all was together at one point in time. You know, Hunters Point. We all rep Hunters Point, but we had our neighborhoods that we repped, you know, within that neighborhood, within that district. So we used to be funky with Sunnydale and all them. And yeah, we used to get into fights, shootouts. And yeah, one day I was out there, you know, we had just beat up some dudes on 3rd Street from Sunnydale. And you know, everybody after something happening, whether it's a party, whatever, you sitting around talking about it, talking about what you did, you know, I did that, and blah blah blah, and they hit the corner, and yeah, they just started letting off rounds, and yeah, I got hit in the eye. As soon as I turned and looked, and heard the car screech around the corner. As soon as I turned and looked, got hit in the eye, and it was crazy. Right after that, as soon as I got out the hospital, house got raided. They caught me with like about 9 guns, you know, like 3 ounces of coke, and yeah, I was on my way to YA, and you know, I was a young dude with money, was able to get myself to this boys ranch called Log Cabin, and went up there and they did a year program, was able to get out, and that's when I ended up changing. That's when I got into music. But yeah, it was funky. But also too, that first album that brought the truce between us, because I ended up calling over to Fillmore to one of the dudes who was reputable over there. You know, I called my boy Nard Temple from my side. He's a reputable. I got him. And I was like, man, you know, I'm trying to do this music thing. I'm trying, you know, I can't do it without Fillmore and Sunnydale and all them. So I'm like, I want to call a little truce. And he's like, Black, I'm with you, whatever you want to do. So I reached out. My boy Lonnie Green, he was part of the strutting crew called Demons of the Mind. And one thing about him is he was from Fillmore, but he lived in Hunters Point. And he was cool with her. We knew his mom. She'd been over there for hella years and shit. And he reached out to JT the Big Fig and all his OG homies. And I told him to come to Harbor Road. And they came up there, trusted me. And JT tell his story too online. He talk about it.
Yeah, we heard it.
Post,
we heard it. He said y'all came, and then he invited y'all back to his block, and
he told exactly how it happened. That's exactly what it was. How they came up there. I could have set them up, could have did whatever, but they trusted me. Came up there, and we squashed it that day. And
that's dope. Man, and that's a different level of maturity. And I hate to draw a parallel, but honestly, that's somewhat, you could say, like the Tupac situation. Him fighting dude in casino, he pulled off, you know, from the conspiracy. They saying he got caught in traffic. So I mean, you really got a second chance. And why do you feel like a lot of drama and gun violence follows the hip hop community?
Because where we from, you know, it's just, man, just that upbringing, being from them projects. Everybody, you know, want to be He-Man. You know, it's just that bravado that we just bring to it, man. And, you know, egos. I mean, hip hop is just different. Like you said, yeah, egos, all that. And, you know, it's just different all the way around. It ain't like rock and country and all that. You know, you can grow old in them genres of music. Right. You know, once you start getting to 35, they start, man, you too old to be rapping. You this and that. And we don't embrace our OGs. It's just, you know, it's just hip hop is just fucked up, man. It just definitely need a change. You know what I mean?
But we trying to do that. We trying to do the change here. That's why we trying to celebrate our greats.
Oh yeah.
You one of the greats. That's why I brought you on.
Yeah, clap it up.
Man, clap it up for one. For real.
Especially if you got it. If you ain't rapping like Grandmaster Flash or somebody, it's like, come on, man. Like that's why I love Cody and them keeping that torch lit. You know, they rapping with the best.
Let's pivot. Let's pivot to some of the great collaborations you got.
I was on the same thing.
We even collaborated with No Limit, Master P. Our last song just did 10 million views online. Same chick, Master P was in the video. He did a lot to help us out. You did a song with Master P trying to make $1 out of 15 cents.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So how was that? West Coast Bad Boys. I'm gonna tell you something. I was 8 when it came out. I went to Florida and that's all we played. West Coast Bad Boys, back to back.
Right.
And that song and the song that Dangerous Dame did was my favorite songs on there.
Yeah. We were supposed to do a solo song, man, but Mr. C was kind of bullshit, man. It didn't kind of like, he really didn't want to do nothing with, because Mr. C was really a lyricist. He didn't want to associate himself with you if he didn't really like you musically or whatnot. And I was a hustler. I'm like, man, if dude got a bag, you know, Master P like, man, I got 5 bands for y'all. I'm trying to get you. I'm like, come on, let's do it, Mr. Man. Mr. C was like, man, I don't want to be on that compilation. It's gonna be Boosie, man. Master P don't rap too tight. He wrote this and that. He didn't really want to do it. So we're supposed to do a song, but what happened was Master P ended up booking a session at the same studio where we was working on our album at, and his session was next. And on our way out, he was coming in. He like, Black, what's up, man? Y'all ready to do it?
Oh,
and I was happy he caught me right there with Mr. C because he was telling me,
yeah,
I'm ready to do it. I'm like, let's do it. I got a song. He said it's too low. He said it's too late to get a song from y'all, but man, I got a song I think you're gonna like, man. It's called Trying to Make $1 Out of 15 Cents. And I'm like, man, I'm with it. I'm like, yeah. He said, man, I'll give y'all 4,000. I'm like, all right. And Mr. C was still acting a little. He said, Mr. C, what's up? You ready? And Mr. C was just like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'm happy Master P got his ass right here.
How was it collaborating with someone like out of your district, basically? Was that hard for Mr. C too, considering that he wasn't from that area?
It wasn't really where he was from. Mr. C he just was one of those East Coast. He was in the lyrics, like he was into the Big Daddy Kane.
He wanted a good quality song. He ain't care about that. I
like that song, man.
He thought the compilation was gonna be weak, you know. Yeah, it was dope. The song wasn't, but once we heard the song when Master P played it, I was willing to get on whatever. It didn't matter to me. I was a hustler, but Mr. C heard it. He was like, "Oh, I seen the space light up," and he was like, man, that's dope. I'm ready to get on that. Like, man, he started getting to his pen and pad and started knocking it out. You know, so we ended up knocking that out, man. And man, it was a blessing to get on that song. I'm happy it happened the way it did because that song was dope. I don't know. We probably would have came with something clean, but that one right there, man, is just a classic just to be able to do something with P because he moved on to be bigger and better. So, you know, we got that on our resume now.
And then even the feature with Mystical.
Hold on, I'm gonna stay with P. Because they ain't just do West Coast Bad Boys 1. They did West Coast Bad Boy 2. And I ain't gonna lie, that's my favorite song on West Coast Bad Boy 2.
Is that right?
Yeah, you can call it what you want, but we call it the funk. Call it what you want to. Call it what you want to. Yeah. And I love that's One Love, that's 40. That's, you know what I mean? That's Burke. That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I had to bring Biddy back because nobody was fucking with him because, you know, I guess he so-called came out the closet and whatnot. And I didn't give a fuck about that. I said, man, you know what I mean? That ain't gonna bother me. You know what I mean? Whatever you do in your private life is what you do. Biddy is a legend to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that nigga got a voice.
Man, had a voice. I loved the way him and Be Legit songs, City to City.
Yeah.
And all that shit. And it's just like, bro, he's so many classics. I'm like, I'm trying to do something with you, bro. And he's like, man, I'll be over there tomorrow. I'm like, man, come through. I got a song I'm trying to do. I need you on. I said, I did a little rough. I just want you to flip it. And it's for West Coast Bad Boys 2. And he was like, I'm there. And yeah, he came over. It was a classic. And we ended up releasing it as a single in Canada and ended up getting us a nice little plaque and stuff for it. It did real good out there in Canada. You know what I mean?
Man, that's
called... I want to ask them this, though.
Go ahead.
Speaking of, like, taking advantage of opportunities and not judging people in this industry, how important do you feel like it is to make connections with people and be a businessman before rapping?
Oh, man, that's how I lasted. You got to build bridges. You don't, man, I don't burn no bridges in this industry. Even like we're in a minute, you know, even though we fell out with Jason, I was still cool with Jason. Even though we went through at Atlantic Records, I always tried to stay cool with Mike Karen and them. You know, you don't want to burn no bridges because you never know when you might need them again. You might get walking back, need a distro again or whatever, man. You know, it's business. You know what I mean? Right. And if you know your business and you got lawyers, it shouldn't be no problem. You know what I mean? You just got to have somebody doing your paperwork. But I make sure my Rolodex is real nice, and anybody I done did business with, you know, is they gonna welcome me back. You know, to this day, anybody, whether studios, artists I done dealt with, they ain't gonna talk bad about Black.
Right. Speaking of lawyer, now I gotta throw this out there. When do you feel like it's necessary to get a lawyer in your career, involved in your career? At what point? ASAP? Like ASAP Rocky?
ASAP. Soon as we messed up at. Because I mean, unless you know how to read your own paperwork, as soon as paperwork come into play, you better have a relation. I mean, you better have a lawyer on deck. You know what I mean? If not, you're gonna be going around looking for one and trying to find one. So it's good to have stuff like that already on deck. You know, I've been having my lawyer who I dealt with, man, since we left Independent Records, and we got a good relationship. And you know, anytime I need him, contract, you know what I mean. Some things he don't even bill me for. He'll look it over, and if it get a little bit, you know. I say to where I really, really need him to really go through the paperwork, then that's when you're on the clock. You know what I mean? I got the pain. But besides that, he look over things and let me know yay or nay. You know, thumbs up, thumbs down. But it's good to have one so you ain't yapping and crying later on. Like I see a lot of artists come up. Got that
That's
voice.
how y'all know y'all killed
Like,
it.
man.
I mean, this is crazy to be honest. The magnitude that you was moving and y'all was moving because literally you were working with these stars in their primes, pretty much.
Prime.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's not like, you know, you didn't wait. You were kind of. At what moment did you realize that you was in your prime?
Well, even to this day, I still don't even think of. I just be moving. I don't even think about it. You know what I mean? Like how everybody be put, oh man, you're a legend, y'all this, y'all. I don't even pay attention. I just leave that up to the fans and stuff like that. I just work. You know what I mean? I don't even.
Is that you being cliche? Because the billboards say something else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't.
Not cliche humble.
I'm
sorry, not cliche humble. Is that you being humble because the billboards and magazines are saying something?
I've been a humble person like that.
Billboard 200 says something different, man. You be on there frequently.
I don't think about it.
We gotta feed it to the hype.
I ain't even gonna lie. We do our research for these interviews. I'm a fan of it, but I've learned so much just researching you over the past few days. I mean, I didn't know that you was producing all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like you producing all this stuff. So not only is you
that's crazy.
one of the top rappers out of the Bay, but you one of the top producers too.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. I kind of gave up a little bit. I kind of stopped producing. On the '97 album, I kind of slowed down. You know, I didn't produce as much on that iPhone I album, and the Hostile Takeover probably was my last album where I really produced a lot of it. After that, I think it was pretty much me going out. I had my youngsters come in, like Herminator. He doing good right now. I had Rome Slapadelic. A lot of them dudes came in and they actually know how to play chords. So once they came in, I just kind of was like the orchestrator. I just kind of orchestrated everything, you know, showed them how to play. I might do drum programming and I let them pretty much take all credit. I didn't really want no credit. I just started really just orchestrating. That was it.
This is giving me Wu-Tang
vibes. But correct me if I'm wrong, though. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. So rapper, producer, but it seemed like you was the businessman too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It seemed like you was the guy that was making the deals happen and all. You just see, like, I mean, like, and I don't think you give yourself enough credit for that. I mean, because everybody needs somebody that's bringing the bag.
Yeah,
it seemed like you was bringing the bag.
I know you know because music is not a cheap. It's a very expensive industry to enter into.
Yeah, you know I never was one of the ones that had like, you know, a lot of dudes had like executive producers or ballers or whoever, you know, who was, you know, I did my own thing. Like I said, I came into it having money. That's why Budweiser wanted me to, you know, put his stuff together. But I had my own money, so I never really needed nobody. I was able to go out and just pay for my own stuff, you know. And I love that I came into it like that, you know.
That was the biggest part.
Do you know? I hate to cut you off because I gotta ask. I just want to know what. So you guys came out in
1992.
92. I'm trying to figure out when did Wu-Tang come out.
They came out after us, like in 93.
Oh, so it's not even
like 93, like right after. They came out like a year or so after, because I was in jail for the rape when I seen that Cream video. I was watching it in jail, you know what I mean? Watching that, I was like,
I was gonna draw a parallel because you remind me of the main character in there, RZA, exactly, exactly. And we've been watching. I gotta talk about because we've been watching the show. You know, they got the show now, so we've been watching that. It's like, man, I draw a parallel to it, but it's crazy. I can't even give them credit because you were ahead of that. So I mean, that's just amazing to be a pioneer like that.
What she really trying to say is, man, we need an RBL Posse show, man.
Period.
We need a show.
Period.
We need a show.
We need to tap into that.
We need a show, bro.
What you told us in this period of time and what I've seen on the interviews is definitely worth watching.
We need a show.
Yeah. Now I'm finna drop the book later this year, actually on the 30th anniversary. Our 30th anniversary is in September. So
I know it's a show coming in.
Gotta be a show.
I know it's a show coming in because it's always a show after the book.
Oh yeah.
Man, once you got the show,
I can't wait. And you know what? I'm gonna read the book. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Once again, you can tell us when is it dropping and what's the name of your book and when
it's dropping in September. September is actually our 30th anniversary, but we're gonna celebrate all this year. We dropping merch and everything. I'm doing a bunch of collabos this year, but the book is called Black Sea from the Block, A Part of Survival. We use one of the titles off our first album, Part of Survival track, and it's called From Part of Survival from the Block to the Booth.
All right, he don't know, huh? Antonio, he don't know.
Y'all hear me?
Again. Now you're gonna have to do it again.
My bad, bro.
Look, don't kick us out yet, man. It's always, you know how you was going through haters and shit. It's some haters calling the phone.
Yeah, they know we on with
RBL.
They know we on RBL. They trying to get their questions in.
I'm gonna cuss him out after we get off.
They trying to get their questions in. I told them we're not going live. This is tape. We can't go live with the celebrities. This is tape.
Right.
We gotta do celebrities right. They trying to get their questions in.
It's crazy.
They keep calling. They know we on live.
This is the guy.
Yeah, this is the man.
It's good, man.
So you doing his thing.
Good.
But look. Now I want to talk about let's say features that you should have done that you ain't do yet. Like who would you want to work with that you didn't work with?
Man, it's probably only really like two main ones that I would have loved to work with, and that was Scarface and Tupac.
Oh man,
like my
Tupac.
Man, listen,
Scarface,
you would be hard on a Scarface collab.
Man.
He got that voice. He got that voice.
That's a dream track for me.
Time is ticking. I think the universe needs to hear that.
Hey, you know, Space acting like he retired himself, like he ain't trying to do nothing, man. You know, I'm a big fan of Face, man.
Now I don't know all y'all, you know, who don't like each other and none of that, but I ain't gonna lie, I like a guy named Brother Lynch hung out there. I think y'all would sound good together. Yeah,
Lynch is dope, man. You know, that was my boy, man. I mean, I just ain't never thought about it doing one with him because I always thought about him in my group NOH because they always had that fast little trick, like they pattern was different. You know what I mean? So, but my boy, we never thought about it, but I'm finna link up definitely with X-Rated. Me and him talking about doing some stuff. You know what I mean? So hopefully that can happen. You know, real soon. I like what X-Rated got going on. He came out smashing. So hopefully we can you know, collab on something. But I'm definitely open to Lynch, you know what I mean? If it
I thought that would sound good, you know.
Now I ain't a Lynch hater. I like Lynch, but he a little too graphic for me. I mean, he more like when I'm feeling Halloweenish, Michael Myers. Then I'll play him, but I be looking at my husband a little weird when he play him. I be like, he be talking about killing women and
I know
they
baby guts eating all that stuff. Yeah.
You know,
I'm not hating. I still love him because he is very artistic and I respect art in all forms.
Yeah.
So I ain't knocking him, but he a little too much for me sometimes.
Yeah. It's almost like
Shameless plug. Me and my wife did a song with Sugar T. Shouts out to Sugar T, representing the Bay. Give them faces out there. But you, my friend, you did a song with E40.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Now, how was that? Working with
40, man. It's always love for working with 40, man. You know, that's been my folks for many moons, man. Him and his whole family, you know, even before the rap, they used to come up in my neighborhood. They was dealing with a OG up there named Bubba Hamp who was getting his money, and you know, they were handling their street business or whatnot, and we met 40 like that and knew him before they even really went to, I think, the Left Side or something, their first album single or something that came out. And this was before we even was in the studio. You know, we was listening to one of their singles and a lot of Mac Dre, a lot of the Mac Dre, and then we was bumping them daily up there. This is before I was even rapping, but yeah, we go back. So, you know, it's always easy to work with people you kind of know. So, you know, us and 40, man, go back. So, man, it was a blessing for him to call me up to get on his album when we did the Money Straight, and then I got him on my album. We gotta go up. Capri, I'm doing the interview right quick. But getting him on my last album, Ruthless by not Ruthless, but Still Ruthless, you know, was a blessing, man. He blessed me. So yeah.
Yeah, that was dope. The song was crazy, man. Y'all ended up doing the video together. It was like his single for that album.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, that was dope. That was dope to see y'all like that. It's always good seeing the West together like that. Even though I'm from the Midwest, but it's always good to see because I like West Coast music more than the East Coast music. I think when Pac and Biggie came out, they made you choose.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
there wasn't none of that till they start funking.
yeah, like at first you could just like whatever music you wanted to like, but it's like when Pac and Biggie did their thing, it was like, okay, yeah, like now I got to figure out who I like better. So you know, I went to the West Coast myself, so I was up on everybody, all y'all. You know what I'm saying? I was up on everybody. I liked the West Coast music a little better because y'all, the beats was better to me.
Yeah,
the production was better.
Yeah, I don't know, West Coast, man, that thick bass line, that funk, and that mob is just different than like a lot of them sampled drums, like them that backpack type rap stuff. It's just it wasn't thick enough for me. Even though I like Wu-Tang, but a lot of their stuff didn't have that punch to me.
Yeah.
I'm in my system playing in my car. It was just a lot of it felt hollow. Like it just
yeah.
You know,
as a producer.
Back in them days.
I definitely coming from.
Back in them days, for sure. I think production ain't caught up and everybody got good production now. But I think back in them days in the 90s, I think for sure West Coast production was just on another level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, maybe because Dre was out there, or maybe because you was out there, or maybe I don't know. But it was on another level. I mean, 40s beats was banging. I mean, that mob sound, like that whole everybody. Too Short, you know what I mean? Because Too Short, I mean, you play some of that Too Short in the trunk when you got, you got your 12s back there.
Yeah, baseline was throbbing, man.
Yeah, it was just different. You know what I mean? It was just different.
Too Short had us all acting out of character. I'm gonna say
that. For real.
Man, but so we do something on here where we want to see what's Mr. C's best verse.
Your favorite.
What's your favorite verse?
Oh man.
Not Mr. C, Black C, my fault. What's Black C's best verse?
My best verse, it'll probably have to come off of my latest album.
I gotta give you the mic.
Oh man, let me see. What's my favorite verse? It'll have to be. Man, I got so much stuff. Man,
we need to play the verse.
Let me think. Give me a second, because I don't want to say one and then I'll get off here and be like, man, I forgot I should have seen. It'll probably have to be off this album. I would probably have to go with the song y'all were just playing. Says Something, man. I would probably have to go with the one. I would have to go with that song. Not even know I can't even pick a verse, man. I have to just go with that song.
Says Something.
Yeah, I had to go with that. I think that I rolled that beat on that. I put a lot more thought in the lyrics on this album. The other albums, I just kind of was just rapping, just going off the feel of the beat, and was just kind of rapping, just talking shit. With this album, I put a little more thought and I think a little more effort in the lyrics and everything. Just talking.
Okay, so speaking of lyrics, I need give me 4 bars, bro. Can we get 4 bars? Can we get 4 bars, bro? I need give me the highlights. Give me the highlights, bro. You got the. You got
this album. Let me see. Maybe All Facts. I'll go with All Facts. Let me see.
Let's get it. Black C about to kill it. Let's get it.
Fiction. Niggas be out here. Let me see. No, I ain't gonna go with All Facts. I ain't gonna do All Facts. Let me see. We gonna let me see. Let me think. You got me on the spot right now.
I'm over here like this.
Because acapella, man, it's throwing me off a little bit too. Let me see. Let me see if I can spit acapella right now. 4 bars of.
You better give us that Renegade verse and quit playing.
I give y'all All Facts. All facts, no motherfucking fiction. Niggas be on some hoe shit. Bitches be out of tripping. Suckers be out of slipping. Me and my niggas dipping right down. They block, then whip out like what is. And you better mind your business. You're not from them trenches. My niggas on some murder shit. And God is my witness. And we're going to leave it at that.
Man, let's get some claps on that.
We'll do All Facts.
Got it, man. What?
Yeah,
That is a legendary group right here, man.
Hey, I had to
out
put
to
some thought
y'all.
into it acapella, man, because I'm the acapella freestyler. I go off a beat and vibe. I'm like, hold on, let me catch that rhythm real quick. Yeah.
You know what? Next time we're gonna take it back to the high school or the middle school. We gonna
Yeah, exactly.
we just gonna bang it out on the table.
Exactly.
Get some pencils out for you. We should have knew better.
Yeah,
My
That's
bad.
love.
bad.
That's love.
Man, look, we glad to have you, man. What's the name of the new album?
Black Caesar, man. Black Caesar.
Black
I have
Sheep.
to say this though. Speaking of the newest album, there's one before that. So you had an album, The Last Man Standing, right?
Yeah, I got actually 5 solos on me. I got Last Man Standing, that dropped in 2001. 2004, I dropped Black Sea is the City of Gods. 2007, I dropped 70s Baby. And then 2012, I dropped Still Ruthless. That's the one I had everybody from my era on: Sibo, E40, Be Legit, Mac
Yep,
Mall,
Still Ruthless.
Still Ruthless is like that's like that was my favorite till I dropped this album. This album kind of 70s Baby was nice too. That's a dope ass album too. But this is my favorite. This Black Caesar album is just different, man. I think lyrically, I just like showing off a little bit. Got some different beats. Went back a little bit to some different stuff as far as got some mob on there, got some funk on there. But I tried to switch it up with songs like Chasing Paper, Stand True. It's like I try to do something a little bit out the box. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of stuff on this, man, that I really
I'm
appreciate.
truly amazed, honestly, by how you kept up with the times and, like we said earlier, stay true to yourself. And just like I was saying with The Last Man Standing, it's like you actually were going through that in life.
Oh yeah, everything. I was I was going through, man. My brother and them I just got took to the feds. They were sitting down for 3-4 years, both of my brothers. They was trying to get us on all type of murders after Mr. C murder, because after Mr. C got killed, man, it was like 20 people got killed, and they were just tearing my house up, our neighborhood up, just putting a lot of the murders on me and my brother and them. So yeah, it got ugly for a minute. So I was like the last man standing for real, like out on the streets and like in the music thing. So yeah.
So how did you feel, honestly? Did you feel like any day now? Did you have that type of paranoia on you? Like you was cool?
Not really, because I knew them dudes. Like I said, I wasn't gonna underestimate them again. But at the same time, I know them. Them was dudes that I pretty much like raised. They was up under me, and they just split off and started doing their own thing. So I knew what I was working with. I knew their families, just like they knew mine. So I didn't worry too much, and I knew how far they was gonna go. So I didn't have to really watch my back and do it. Was like living nervously.
That's dope.
We had them like that. You know what I mean? We was living. I just bought my house. We was getting paid. I just signed the deal anyway with Atlantic Records. They still did the deal, so we wasn't worried about nothing. You know what I mean? If the bag had to be dropped, they knew it would have been. So I didn't worry about none of that. We was good till this day. The youngsters that came up under them, they respect it. They respect how we took it and how we moving, and and a lot of them right now appreciate me now. You know what I mean? And wish they would have just supported. And looking at the bigger picture, like, damn, bro, Mr. C was here, man. Y'all would have probably skyrocketed. Ain't no telling where y'all would have been. And everybody would have ate. Even the haters would have got crumbs off the table from dudes who
was enough to be happy.
Enough to be happy, exactly. So now everybody kind of regretting it. You know what I mean? So we just moving on. Ain't no thing.
Do you have any regrets with your music career? Do you have any regrets as far as like the life, that era?
I don't have any regrets, man. None at all. The only thing I regret is not telling Mr. C to hop in that car that day. That's about the only thing I regret. Is just like I could have pushed it, and he just was like, "Man, I need money. I need this," and I had already let him borrow some money. Jason wasn't paying us, and it was just was a lot of stuff going on. I had a Hitman album out. I was eating, and he didn't want to be a part of it. He never invested, and I know he regretted that and that never put no money in, because when he did get his check, I asked him when we had got our, I think he gave us like 14,000. We had like 7 apiece. I tried to get like 3,000-4,000 from him, and he was just like, "Man, I got bills, I got this." I'm like, "Bro, I'm ready to go get some more equipment, put out this Hitman album, give me, just go half on it." He didn't want to do it, and Hitman shit took off. And I was buy a house and live. You know, I'm still living off
Yeah,
that,
for sure. I bought 5 of them.
you know what I mean? So it's like
He gonna
shit.
stay, hey, he gonna stay.
You
He
know?
gonna stay saying
I
that.
bought
Hey,
5.
for real.
I want to ask you
I
about
want to definitely send some respect out to Mr. C.
Yeah,
know,
Mr. C.
Your loss.
and Hitman.
Exactly. And
Hitman.
I ain't getting spiritual and gospel on you, but you know, God makes no mistakes. So I think it's
Right.
time for you to unburden yourself. I don't think that I think you put a little too much weight on yourself with that. You know, I don't know you personally, but I think it's time to let that go.
Yeah, and that's what exactly what I'm doing. I'm happy now. Like I said,
I want to ask you about another album that I don't think I watched a lot of interviews. I ain't hear it talked about. It's an album, Mr. Sandman. I think you produced it.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I mean?
didn't really produce it. That's why I don't talk about it too much, because what happened was with that, we kind of fell out. We cool now. Sandman, my guy. You know what I mean? I'm doing some music with him right now. He just got some stuff from Sean T trying to send to me. But what happened with that was we kind of had fell out because he came and got about like 6-7 tracks from me. And I produced like 6 or 7 tracks. He ended up getting NOH on there, who was my groups, who was on Right Way. He got Hitman, I believe, on a song, if I ain't mistaken. And what happened was Mr. C had died during that time. He had passed away when he had was working on the album. So what he did was he had like a RIP Hitman Mr. C hat on the cover. He tried to look like me and Hitman on the cover, like how me and Hitman was on the Solo Creep. He tried to kind of take that image and cover his face up, and he called himself Sandman, and Hitman had a song called Mr. Sandman. So
that's where all the confusion coming from, because we thought he was part of RBL.
Exactly, and that's what we was mad at, because he wasn't supposed to do that. His album was different until Mr. C died. Then he switched everything up and tried to capitalize off of it. And that's what we got mad.
I know that. That's crazy.
So we was looking for him in Frisco, so he was hiding out for a minute. You know what I mean? He knew it was gonna be problems when we seen him, but we worked it out. He a good dude. You know, he ain't from my neighborhood, but he from Hunters Point, but he from a different section called Garlington, a different project. So worked it out. He my guy, man. He apologized and he was like, "Black, I understand." And I was like, if he would have just got at me, and but he was a big fan too. He was a real big fan. And I was just like, bro, if you'd have got at me and got my blessing and let me come in and mix all the music and do everything I did for Hitman and them, it wouldn't have been no problem. But he bought the tracks, got all the stems or whatever, and he went and did it his way. So, and a lot of the production, I didn't like how it sounded, because it wasn't how I EQ'd my bass lines and my pianos, and it sounded different. So I didn't even really co-sign it when it did come out. On top of that, he had, like I said,
but when it hit our town, when it hit Ohio, we thought he was RBL Posse.
I know.
We knew it kind of worked what he did. It's kind of like, I ain't gonna lie.
I have to say this.
Go say it.
I have to say this because I have to be honest. We were talking about this today, and he swore that he was part of the posse. He like, yes, he was.
Yeah,
I'm like,
we going back and forth, we trying to figure it out.
We don't know.
I'm like, I bought the album because he was RBL. Like, I thought, come on, like.
Yeah, because he had produced by Black Sea. He was looking like Hitman and us on there with the cover.
Yeah, he was.
He had the Sandman name. The whole nine. Nah, he was not part of it in no way, shape, form, or fashion. He was a part of RBL crew the right way. It was only NOH and Hitman that I had at the time. You know what I mean? So, that's why.
I hate to ask the question, but I did see produced by Black Sea on the cover.
Yeah.
And like play off the first album, you got extra people on there. So they're like, well, that might have been Mr. Sandman on one of them. You looking, you know what I mean? That's how the fans. I'm just saying.
I know.
When you come, y'all from California. We from the other side of the world, so we just trying to figure it out. You know what I
mean?
Exactly.
I think it gets to us last. You know, everybody done ran through it, then it ends up on our desk, and it's like, oh, okay.
Right.
Because y'all came out in the era. I don't know if you remember, but we didn't even. The covers is all the pictures we had of y'all. We didn't know what y'all looked like for years.
Exactly.
So it's like, and you shoot a video, we didn't get it unless we unplugged our cable, and it was this channel called The Box.
Right, The Box. Exactly.
Yeah, The Box. So you had to order, so we didn't even get it. Wasn't no internet, wasn't none of that. So it was like, it was a great play he made, because once it came up here, we like, oh, RBL came out with another CD. Boom. You know what I mean? We buying it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Y'all might want to throw him in marketing. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, he did his thing. He did. I mean, he did it right, and it got him known. Like his album sold. You know, the little Indian dude that put him out, man, loved him for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bought it twice.
He was like a household name during that time. You know, he did better than my group in a way because he piggybacked right off the success of Hitman. You know, so I mean,
I bought Hitman 4 times. I bought him twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
His only got stole once. I ain't gonna lie, but Hitman's album was so much of a classic that if you played it for somebody and you left your car, you went in the store, they was gonna steal it.
That's a mess.
Right.
Hey, they was gonna steal it. It was like that's just.
Who are your friends?
No, it ain't just. It just
no, they was doing
like
that. Yeah, they was doing that back in the days. Motherfuckers was clipping you for tapes and shit, man. Shit.
Yeah. You can take my change. Don't take my CD.
They gonna steal that. You done left, they done stole it. It's over with. Like he done figured out a way to get it because that album was a classic. Every song on there was hard. Every song.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I've been in my spin. I've been spinning it all day, and I haven't found anything Bammer yet. Everything been hitting. So,
but I do gotta. I'm glad you said Bammer because we gotta bring this up. Now we was researching the stories. Y'all come out with don't smoke no Bammer weed, but you said it yourself on the interview
that you was selling
Bammer.
Oh yeah. No, but that was before all the quality from the green weed came in. See, I was just hustling it, but I wasn't smoking it.
Yeah. That is a difference.
I gotta ask you.
I capitalized off of it, but I wasn't rocking with it.
I gotta ask you. Y'all did zigzags, no Bammer weed. So y'all did, and there was another weed. So y'all did so many weed songs. Is you now capitalizing off of marijuana being legal?
Right.
Oh yeah. I've been winning. Like, you know, I've been blessed to have collaborations I've been having with Sunset Connect, Buddy. Man, it's been lovely. So, man, I'm blessed to just doing shows and like cannabis conventions and stuff like that. People want to book us and just to be a part of it. Any type of cannabis show that's been going on out here, you know, we've been blessed that our name come up and we able to perform or do something, you know what I mean? So, man, it's been a blessing.
And I ain't gonna lie, I mean, that song is relevant on any radio station, I can hear that bumping now. You might need to just go on and push that one more time because it's so relevant with the times. You know what I'm saying?
Wiz Khalifa redid it. So, hey, that's the current one.
Man,
I can't.
That's crazy. You
said that. That's crazy you said that because she a little younger than us, but when she heard it, she like, man,
this is giving me Wiz Khalifa vibes. Like, but I knew that you OG. You know what I'm saying? So what's really going on here? But I did. I said I felt Wiz Khalifa. It was giving me them vibes. So I felt like he kind of, you know what I'm saying, adapted that just a little bit.
Adapted the style. And, you know,
he ended up he remade Bammer, and man, it's a blessing, man. He blessed us. Gave me publishing. We handled the business right.
That's dope.
He exposed us to his fans.
Shouts out to Wiz for that.
Shouts out to Wiz.
That's a real
one.
We can't keep you all night. I know we want to keep you all night, but we can't keep you all night. You're a legend. You probably got 5, 6, 7 deals you got to close. You know what I'm saying?
I just got my license over here bothering
me. You doing animated cartoons, other stuff now.
Yeah.
You got so many stuff going on. What's going on with your company? Is you looking for artists? Are you working with people just from the Bay or what?
Man, right now I'm not even really focused on artists. I'm just trying to get this RBL legacy, you know what I mean, just keep it solid and end it off, you know, with a cherry, man, by just, you know, it's our 30th anniversary. This year I'm just really focused on me and the books and trying to get all the merchandise together, you know what I mean? So that's really it, just merchandising and just celebrating this 30-year anniversary that I'm able to keep the torch lit for you know, these extra years after the passing of Mr. C. So our other artists, it's so easy now. It ain't no way for me to really make no money. They might as well do it themselves. I mean, everything is just really push button upload. So, you know, I don't really see where I could benefit from it. So, you know, I'm just worried about myself.
I think, hold on. That was spoken. Now he said if he get it, that was spoken like a true businessman.
Yeah.
He just kept it all the way
I
100.
don't see why
I
he
don't
made
even see this. Don't make sense.
Well, I can see somewhere where you can make money, OG. A lot of people don't have them connections to make them other deals. You know what I mean? Yeah, they can put it out, but they can't do them other deals. And I mean, I can see you really managing and helping artists, you know what I mean, come up and get some better deals and get some better situations.
Well, that's what I'm doing now. You know, like right now, I got my own situation at Empire. You know, Ghazi, I've been knowing him for years. I was like one of the artists, first artists that did a digital deal with him. So he gave me my own pretty much like label up there where I can help people start up their label through me. So that's what I do. I give people their own situation. I'm not gonna put you out. You're gonna control your own destiny. So that's what I'm doing. You know, I get you set up, get your dashboard, get your account over there at Empire, and it's up to you. You know what I mean? You control your own destiny. You can upload, do whatever, and put your videos on. They go on the Vivos. You gonna be on Tidal. You're gonna be on all the DSPs pretty much. So it's up to you. So that's about it. That's all I'm doing. You know, I got about 4 labels under my belt right now that I'm working with, and that's signed, locked in. They putting out music, and I don't care what it is. It could be EDM, it could be country, R&B, rap.
Right.
I don't discriminate. Reggae, whatever. You know what I mean? So people looking to control their own destiny, I can help them like that. You know, and that's all I'm doing is bridging the gap. I'm not trying
that's
to.
Dope. That's a lot, though.
That's a lot.
Bridging the gap is huge because we need the gap bridged. Okay.
Yeah.
It might look a little different in California, but you know, over here in some of these other areas, you know, the Midwest, some of these other areas in the middle, you know, people need that help. I mean, you know, a lot of people need that help. A lot of people need that game. This is why we're doing this platform. A lot of people need to see what's going on. You know what I mean? Like you said, I did the independent thing. I did this, you know, I did the signing thing. Worked out for a couple years, did my thing, and come back, do my other thing still. And I'm still eating, I'm living. People need to see what it looked like to be a rapper at your age. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You know, be a success story.
Be a success story. You know what I mean?
It is very important.
It's very important. Yeah, for real. Because, you know, that's what's wrong with the youth. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I ain't gonna shoot at this rap thing. This rap thing, I only got 5 years, but no, you got Black Sea still making money off music.
Yeah. Still making,
you know what I mean? Right now, to this day, like we was just on tour with No Limit Records, and we going to the tours, you know, we opening up, helping out, but it's like, man, these people, they rapping them same songs, they getting paid. You know what I mean? Sold out shows.
Hey, man, you gotta just know how to control, like you said, control your own destiny, own your masters. You know, right now, I do a lot of licensing deals. You know, our music is in everything from skateboard videos, doing deals with like skateboard companies to, I mean, weed companies, you name it, movies or whatever, man. I done did so many deals in the past like 3-4 years. It's pathetic, man. And that publishing is crazy. So, you know, it's just all about you just, you know, knowing your business and owning your stuff. And that income gonna stay coming. I've been blessed to be able to do this like about a little over 30 years, including before we came out actually professionally in 92. You know, I actually started in 90. And I've been living off music for past like 32 years and I ain't punched the clock, you know, thank God.
So
you know,
that's right.
And we wish you a continuous amount abundantly. We just wish you all the blessings on your music and your career. You're doing an amazing job. You did an amazing job. Now, see, me and my husband, we got a show on Facebook. We go live, right? Now, I got to ask you because we got a topic. Now, we do topics every Wednesday at 12, right?
12:30.
12:30. It's only 12 when the juice kick in, okay? It's 12:30. It's 12:30. So, our topic is, I like to ask because I like to get other people's opinions on it. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So, my topic this week was, I would like to get Black C's opinion on this. Is it important for the woman to prepare the Sunday dinner?
Well, it depends to me if she working or not. If she at home mom, I believe so. Hell yeah. Matter of fact, prepare. If you at home mom and I'm bringing home the bacon, I gotta cut that pig up and bring home that bacon shit. Of course, I need somebody gotta cook it. You know, so
that's fact.
I mean, but if we both working, sort of like with me and my wife, our situation, she worked, but she don't have to. She do it because she want to, really. You know what I mean? She just kind of like doing it. She working. She work at the airport. We do it for the flight benefits, really, for the kids and all that. We son at Morehouse, he be wanting to fly back and forth. So she just do it mainly really for that, not really for the income. She ain't really making shit, but she still come home and do everything. You know, she clean, cook, do all.
Shouts out to a real one. Shouts out to wifey. She a real one.
She don't be like, well, I'm working, so you need to be cooking or you need to be doing this, because she know I'm knocking them bills down. You know what I mean, left and right.
But I'm talking about just specifically Sunday.
Sunday. I don't know, man. Really on Sundays, man, I'm trying to keep back. You can order out on Sunday, to be honest with you, and watch a good movie.
See, it's important. See, we got it.
That's him.
We'll eat through the week. I ain't worried about Sunday, man. Sunday, you can take a break off.
Hey, Black C said it's all right though.
That work at Black C, y'all.
Hey, we can do some Benihana on Sunday or something, man. I ain't tripping, you know. As long as it's Monday, if Monday through Friday I'm eating, man, I ain't tripping on Sunday, to be honest.
Right. So how long you been married?
It's going on, man. She gonna want to kill me. It's probably about 14 years.
Woo!
Right.
Yeah, now before that.
You can't be married. You can do it.
Yeah. I keep it private, you know. I don't.
Not only did you take over San Francisco, I mean, what? You just trying to be the best. Can you leave something for the little ones?
Yeah, nah.
So at this time,
you know, I'm a person that's been in long-term relationship. Even before that, I got 2 kids in my prior relationship, and it was about a 20-year relationship, you know, and I got out of that one and been with her for 14. So I'm one that locked down. I don't
stay locked down. How you stay locked? We going overtime, but how you stay locked down on the road?
Man, it's easy. I mean, if you got a good one, you know what I mean, you ain't got to worry about it. You can focus on getting that bag, and you going back and chilling, man. You know, you don't have your drinks and do whatever you do. And man, after that, it's like I'm adios, man. Before something pop off around here, I'm gone. You know what I mean? So it's real. It be temptation. You don't get me wrong. We done been through ups and downs. It done been temptation where you might get a little fine one or something. You be like, damn, you be tempted. But you know, after that little ass woman, she done get on the motherfucker ass, and then you know, it's like, man, fuck, it ain't even worth it. It ain't even worth it. You know what I mean? I got a good one. She look good.
This man is smart.
Hey, I've been 12 years in. I'm good. We ain't never had no problems on the road. I'm good. Hey,
I done hit a few bumps, but it's like, you know, I done learned from them too. So it ain't worth it though. You know, if you got a good one, man, you gotta lock that down. It ain't even fucking worth it. You know what I mean? So she got A's. Great A's.
Let's back
You think it's a game? Get fired with this one time.
RBL Posse, this man put on and kept going for Mr. C. Rest in peace. Ain't never stopped making a legacy what it is here today. I mean, this is one of the top 5 group of all time in hip hop history. We need to start celebrating our kings and queens of hip hop. Man, and he married. And he stayed in a committed relationship the whole time.
Like a real
let's
I think I'm a nephew.
Right, for real. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Let's stop the This is breaking the stereotypes right here. Because I've been telling you, a lot of my OGs in the game is married and they doing it the right way. So we
Hey, you gotta look at E40 and his wife. You gotta look at Snoop Dogg and his wife. You gotta look at Ice Cube. It's like we got some real leaders out here who've been locked down for some years. They done put in some years, man. So,
but they paint the narrative of us as we monsters, and we, you know what I'm saying, we can't control ourselves. We can't do that, but we is controlling ourselves. We is taking care of our household. We is holding it down. This music did pay the bills. So, man, shouts out to y'all, man, for being legendary, man. Y'all done work with everybody. Y'all ain't got no bad name in the game. Ain't no stain on y'all name. Y'all doing your thing. RBL Posse. I mean, man, and it's a blessing to talk to you. We gotta make sure
we also let him drop his latest project.
You gotta drop your latest project.
Also, where they can get in touch with you at your social media.
And I'm sorry, we have to take care of our sponsors. Shouts out to Trillionaire Brand.
And we also want to make sure you get a Trillionaire jogging fit if that's possible. We love, you know, me and my husband, we have a clothing brand, so we all about trillionaire. We all about what, like just bettering your life.
Right. Wear what you worth. Wear what you worth. We believe human life is priceless. So you gotta put some trillionaire in your back every day because you're priceless, man. There ain't never been a man walking the face of the earth worth $1 trillion.
So
but you worth $1 trillion.
And we gotta get you in the trillionaire, bro.
Like we gotta get you in there. Black C in the trillionaire. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Hey, shoot it to me.
Black one. Because he Black C.
Yeah, gotta have that black.
We're gonna get you together the whole work.
We're gonna get you together. We're gonna send you a care package after the show, man. Hey, man,
Let's
it's a blessing. Thanks for being on the show. This show right here gonna do over 1 million views. So, you know, it's gonna be crazy. Everybody gonna see this, man. So what we need you to do right now is tell these people where they can contact you at. I know they want those features.
Hey, they can follow me on all my social media with Twitter and Instagram is at RBL Posse. Facebook is facebook.com/RBL Posse. And the TikTok is the real RBL Posse. And we also can, you know, if you're looking for that merchandise, you can go to the store at www.rblposse.com. Or if you want to go directly to the store, it's www.rblposse.bitcartel.com. And yeah, them all the links right there, man.
I'll be copping mine, man. You will see me in it.
Yes,
we gotta get to RBL Posse.
You know, we gotta do it off the strength of the marriages. We gotta stick together. So
hey, you already know. You already know.
I want to be one of the guys they think that's in the Posse. So it worked for somebody else. So.
Right.
Yeah. They have a girl, so you can be the first. They think you in the Posse.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hey, man.
Hey, much love. Much love.
You have amazing energy. I just can't wait to see your new projects because I know y'all got a million things going on. We just wish y'all so much blessings and happiness on you and your family and your projects. Just keep pushing, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, much love, man. And thanks for having me.
For sure. Anytime you got something, just tap in with us, man. We'll get you back on the show, man. Anytime you dropping something, man, you know, make this part of your media circuit.
For sure.
Okay, for sure, man. I got you locked now. I got you direct, so it's all love.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.